And welcome back to my program. About 19 Republican presidential wannabes all converge up in New Hampshire over the weekend for a rally sponsored by the New Hampshire Republican Party, all trying to get a little edge in this race to be the presidential nominee coming up in 2016. About 560 days until the next presidential election, long way off, but they're out there campaigning hard. And the governor down in my state of Louisiana made a dramatic plea and cry for no more hyphenated Americans. Here's what he said. He said, I don't know about you. I'm tired of the hyphenated Americans. No more African Americans, no more Indian Americans, no more Asian Americans. He said, we just all want to be Americans. And look, we're one big amalgamation. We came to this country. All of us are immigrants coming from all over the world, with the exception of the Native American Indians. But what Jindal is saying is, I think, takes away from the blend that makes this country so great. The fact that we bring in all our cultural diversities. You come into my home state of Louisiana and look at the fascinating cultural mix, the Italian Americans. We've got the largest museum and gathering of Italian information in America down in New Orleans at the Italian Cultural Center. Italian Americans are extremely proud of their heritage. They have the St. Joseph Day parades every year. They're very proud of going back to their home country, the way they cook. They pride themselves in being Italian Americans. So do the Irish. St. Patrick's Day is a huge event in my home state of Louisiana, down in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, over in Lafayette. Irish Catholics that built the railroads, that built so much of Louisiana, are extremely proud of their history and their heritage, and they want to maintain it. How about John Georges is the publisher and editor of two of the largest newspapers in Louisiana, the New Orleans Advocate and the Baton Rouge Advocate. He is a diehard Greek American. Now, you go tell John Georges that he should no longer be considering himself a Greek American, but he should be just an American. He's proud of his Greek heritage. He's proud of the Greek work ethic that he brings to the huge success that he has had. Cinco de Mayo, our Latin friends, Hispanics who've come into our state and all over the country who celebrate their special Spanish heritage. They don't want to let that go. They want to be Americans with the heritage that they brought in. If you come into South Louisiana, a little town of Des Allemands, which means German, they have a big catfish festival down there. I don't know if the governor's ever gone down there, but the streets are all named German. They're German names. And you find a big German foundation up in Forest, Louisiana. German Americans who are so proud of their history and their heritage. I mentioned Native Americans, the Choctaws, the Jena Indian tribes down there, the Chinamankas, the Tunicas, all are Native Americans. They probably have a pretty good claim by saying, look, we are Indian Americans. We're the first Americans. Don't push us aside into this melting pot. We're going to tolerate you folks coming into this country, but we pride ourselves in our ethnicity. I am Scottish. I'm Scottish. I fly the Scottish flag outside my house. When they had the big election here last year, when Scotland was trying to secede from Britain, I wrote letters and talked about it in my radio show. I wish they would have seceded. Very close election, did not do so. Hope they'll vote again. So I'm very proud to be a Scottish American. I talk about that all the time. It brings in a special blend from me, a work ethic, something I'm very proud of, the great literature that comes out of Scotland, all the inventions that come out of Scotland that bring into my bloodline that makes me a contributing American. So let me tell you something, Governor Jindal. If you want to be just an American, I think it's interesting that this Indian American governor, his parents immigrated from India. He wants to do away with any of those titles along that line. I don't. I'm proud of them. And I think most Americans are. African Americans. I'd love to hear Governor Jindal sit down with the Black Caucus in our Louisiana legislature and talk about the fact we're not going to refer to you as African Americans anymore. They're proud of this. You go down to New Orleans, the largest slave concentration sales, the great big slave ships and the sales that took place down there of African Americans is part of the history. Not a good history of our state, but African Americans want that title as a way of expressing where they've come from and what they've obtained. So let me tell you something, Governor. I wrote this in a column. Let me read it to you. I said, look, the governor can just consider himself an American. He can deny his Indian heritage if he wants to. But as far as all the rest of us, let's leave Boudreaux, Antonio, Zorbra, Godfrey, Sean, Jamarcus, Bubba, Pedro. Governor, just leave us alone. We're proud of being ethnic Americans, and I want to keep talking about it. Hope you feel the same way. I'll be right back.